There's something new going around. It's moving through our towns and cities, taking the back roads and the highways, touching people wherever it goes. It's called hope, and it's coming your way. Something's happening out there, a feeling. Call it hope, that our country can move in a new direction. But the future is something to look forward to, not fear. If that's what you're feeling, you may have noticed something else. You're not alone.
George Bush is right. It is a question of character. Remember,
and if you elect me president, you will be better off 4 years from now than you are today.
average family income down $1,600 in 2 years.
You will be better off 4 years from now than you are today.
Family health care costs up $1,800 in 4 years.
You will be better off 4 years from
The second biggest tax increase in history.
If you elect me president, you will be better off 4 years from now than you are today.
Well, it's 4 years later. How you doing? George Bush's attack ads. He knows they're not true. Under Bill Clinton, Arkansas leads the nation in job growth, the second lowest taxes, the lowest government spending, and education reforms that are nationally recognized. So what's Bush doing? Quote, he's lying to the public about Bill Clinton's record. Quote, Bush consistently and flagrantly distorts the truth. Quote, frankly, we no longer trust him. Why would George Bush knowingly distort the truth? He said it best. I will do what I have to do to be reelected.
George Bush's attack ads. He knows they're not true. Under Bill Clinton, Arkansas leads the nation in job growth, the second lowest taxes, the lowest government spending, and education reforms that are nationally recognized. So what is George Bush doing? Trying to hide his own record. Nearly 10 million people unemployed, healthcare costs out of control, the worst economic record of a president in 50 years. George Bush is trying to scare you about Bill Clinton, but nothing could be more frightening than 4 more years. November 3rd, Election Day. What if nothing changed? What if we had 4 more years of trickle-down economics? 4 more years with no new jobs created? 4 more years of healthcare costs rising out of control? 4 more years of pointing fingers, placing blame, and no action? What if we had 4 more years and no change? It's rare to be able to so clearly see the future and still do something about it. Bill Clinton and Al Gore, for people, for a change.
Mabel Brasher, 30 years.
A closed factory.
Ricky Mullins, 17 years.
Jobs lost.
And Leanne Weiss, 28 years.
It didn't have to happen.
29 years.
Patty Davis, 17 years.
Melton Moore, 29 years.
Ann Brasher, 28 years.
Randall Johnson, 17 years.
Deborah Redden, 9.5 years.
Robert Brasher, 30 years, and it's not right.
Clinton Gore, American jobs first, for people, for a change. It's morning in Decaturville, Tennessee. But for 650 people who once worked here, there are no jobs. This factory closed and moved overseas.
We were just family. It was a good place to work.
The Bush administration uses tax incentives and low-interest loans to encourage our companies to move overseas. No wonder we've lost 1.4 million manufacturing jobs.
It just hurts plumb down to the heart.
Clinton Gore, for people, for a change. This is the $825 billion question. That's how much foreign corporations operating in the U.S. took in one year. But 72% of them didn't pay one dime in taxes, not one dime. And George Bush supports tax loopholes for foreign companies operating here. Supports them so much that he attacks Bill Clinton for wanting to close them. Bill Clinton wants to collect what foreign corporations owe and put the money to work to rebuild America. Clinton Gore, for people, for a change.
Our campaign is not about trickle-down economics. We reject it. Not about tax and spend economics. We reject that. Our campaign is about making a commitment to put the government on your side, to give investment in new jobs, in education, in providing real leadership in controlling health care costs, in challenging the American people to take control of their own lives again, and making sure that when people do work hard and do play by the rules, they'll be able to win again.
I was born in a little town called Hope, Arkansas, 3 months after my father died. I remember that old two-story house where I lived with my grandparents. They had very limited incomes. It was in 1963 that I went to Washington and met President Kennedy at the Boys Nation program. And I remember just thinking what an incredible country this was, that somebody like me, had no money or anything, would be given the opportunity to meet the president. That's when I decided that I could really do public service because I cared so much about people. I worked my way through law school with part-time jobs, anything I could find. And after I graduated, I really didn't care about making a lot of money. I just wanted to go home and see if I could make a difference. We've worked hard in education and healthcare to create jobs, and we've made real progress. Now it's exhilarating to me to think that as president, I could help to change all our people's lives for the better and bring hope back to the American dream.
This is the $825 billion question. That's how much foreign corporations operating in the U.S. took in one year. But 72% of them didn't pay one dime in taxes, not one dime. And George Bush supports tax loopholes for foreign companies operating here. Supports them so much that he attacks Bill Clinton for wanting to close them. Bill Clinton wants to collect what foreign corporations owe and put the money to work to rebuild America. Clinton Gore, for people, for a change. It's morning in Decaturville, Tennessee. But for 650 people who once worked here, there are no jobs. The Decaturville sportswear factory closed and moved overseas.
We were just family. It was a good place to work.
It just hurts plumb down to the heart.
It didn't have to happen. As 60 Minutes reported, the Bush administration used your tax dollars to lure this sportswear factory to move to El Salvador. Tax incentives, low-interest loans.
That sign means nothing, really. Not if the government's going to take it away from you. Buy made in the USA? How can I buy made in the USA when I'm drawing unemployment?
We're Brasher, 27 years.
In the last 4 years, we've lost tens of thousands of textile jobs, many here in the South. George Bush is using your tax dollars to help make it happen. Clinton Gore, ready to invest in America. Clinton Gore, for people, for a change. October 1988.
The auto industry faced some hard times not long ago, but the industry has bounced back.
But after 4 years of George Bush, Michigan has lost almost 30,000 auto jobs. November 1988.
I want to keep this economy moving until every man and woman in this country that wants a job has a job.
We've lost 1.4 million manufacturing jobs. Broken promises, forgotten Michigan. Can we afford 4 more years?
Mabel Brasher, 30 years.
A closed factory.
Ricky Mullins, 17 years.
Jobs lost.
Leanne Vice, 28 years.
It didn't have to happen.
29 years. Patty Davis, 17 years.
Melton Moore, 29 years.
Ann Brasher, 28 years.
Randall Johnson, 17 years.
Deborah Redden, 9.5 years.
Robert Brasher, 30 years, and it's not right.
Clinton Gore, American jobs first, for people, for a change. Bill Clinton's economic plan, endorsed by over 600 economists, including 10 Nobel Prize winners, as the best hope for reviving the nation's economy. More than 400 of America's most respected business leaders say the Clinton plan will create jobs. A panel of independent experts convened by Time magazine concludes that Clinton's plan has the best solutions to our economic problems. And now even the author of Ross Perot's plan has endorsed Bill Clinton for president. Let's get our economy moving again. Bill Clinton's economic plan, endorsed by over 600 economists, including 10 Nobel Prize winners, as the best hope for reviving the nation's economy. More than 400 of America's most respected business leaders say the Clinton plan will create jobs. A panel of independent experts convened by Time magazine concludes that Clinton's plan has the best solutions to our economic problems. And now even the author of Ross Perot's plan has endorsed Bill Clinton for president. Let's get our economy moving again. You're looking at the results of years and years of Republican leadership. The highest unemployment in 8 years, the worst economic record in 50 years. Aren't you ready to say, enough is enough? Vote Democratic for a change. You're looking at the results of years of Republican neglect, the highest unemployment in 8 years. The Republicans actually stalled the extension of unemployment benefits, blocked a middle-class tax cut that would help the economy, cut Medicare for senior citizens, and tried to reduce college loans. The Republican leadership, a record of failure, the highest unemployment in 8 years, the worst economic record since the Great Depression. Aren't you ready to say, enough is enough? Vote Democratic for a change. $1,600. That's how much family incomes went down during years of Republican neglect in Washington. That's right, $1,600. And as most families struggled, the richest 1% made even more, an average of $24,000 a year. Enough is enough. Why are we working harder for less? Ask the Republicans, then vote for the Democrats for a change.
When I was in junior high school, I was waiting tables just so I would have extra spending money. And now here I am 12 years later with a degree in my back pocket, and I'm still waiting tables. Companies were not hiring new people. There were less positions available. I think the Republicans have abandoned my generation. The Democrats appeal to me because I believe that they understand what's happening in this country and they have the ability to fix it.
Since I graduated, I've done telemarketing. I was a bicycle messenger. I hope in the future to get a job in my field and from there start my own life, but there are no jobs.
And there's yogurt here.
I feel trapped having to live at home. The Republicans really do not know what the average American is going through. The Democratic plan is the plan that makes the most sense. I really believe that the Democrats would bring a lot of hope and enthusiasm to this country.
These are tough times for middle-class families. After 12 years of Republican neglect and trickle-down economics, we're having a tough time making ends meet. working harder for less money, spending less time with our children, paying more for health care and education. The Republicans in Washington cut taxes for the rich, raised taxes on the middle class, tried to cut college aid for middle-class kids, and as health care costs tripled, they did nothing. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. The New Democrats fighting for a better future for hard-working families. Before you vote, remember the record. Every year for the past 12 years, the Republicans tried to cut Medicare, and in 9 of those years, they've done it. And this year, they've proposed a plan that could lower benefits for nearly 30 million older Americans and virtually eliminate compensation for over 1 million disabled veterans. Medicare cuts, health care crisis, the worst economic record since the Great Depression. Senior citizens know better than anyone. It's time for a change, and that's what the New Democrats are fighting for: Social Security and quality, affordable health care.